Good afternoon, this is RFC Maki with a flight report for War Thunder played on Xbox One. This week I'm flying a patrol mission in custom sim settings, flying a Spitfire Mark I late model, taking off from somewhere just near Dover. I believe this is going to be the Hawkinge Air Base. And in this, me and a flight of three other Hurricanes take off, fly a patrol pattern, moving from location point to location point in an attempt to patrol for enemy planes. Now, I've kind of done this as an early World War II mission, so I'm flying off from England, heading out over the English Channel. We're flying a series of patrol points dictated by the game, and then ultimately, hopefully, encountering a couple bandits. I went ahead and did the recording of the liftoff from this because I hadn't flown from this field before. This is a different field that I've flown at from most of my custom battles, and what I think I was craving in this game was a lot more realism. I wanted a game where I had a mission, an objective. I wanted to take off from landing, fly a patrol, not necessarily just head out to the middle and bump into enemies, and then in the end try to return back to base to see if I couldn't survive. Here, I went ahead and skipped all the middle bits, and I've jumped back in. You can see I've got my planes flying fingertip formation. And below me, I'd climbed pretty high, probably about 13,000 feet. And I had spotted a group of 4 109s below, so I thought I would go ahead and dive down on them. I hesitated there for a second, decided to go ahead and dive down on the bandits. They're flying up at us, and I goofed on my attacks. Instead of dropping down on them, we had no surprise whatsoever. I went ahead and fell up behind them. Here I'm trying to rise up to meet them, and I am blacking out. Lost sight of the bandits there. You can see one of them has been hit already as they flew up and my wingmen flew down. So now it's just a case of trying to identify bad guys and see if I can't get on. The game at this point of the patrol wants me to down 2 109Es in this battle. So here we are gaining some speed, dropping down to the level where they are, and kind of spinning to see if we can't find another. There's one plane who's smoking, flying down low. You can see from that curve there, he's actually hugging the water. And my initial thought was, well, I'll go after that guy because he's going to be an easy kill. But instead, I decided I didn't want to hang out too low and burn all of my energy away and get stuck down at the bottom. So I went ahead and let him go, hoping that one of my other AI wingmen would go ahead and go after him. There he is back. There's at least a couple of them back down again. There's another plane right there. And here I thought, okay, I can't find anybody else, so I'm going to go ahead and dive on this guy, take a shot or two. I take a shot only to discover that, in fact, it was not a 109E, but that was a Hurricane. So I did a little bit of friendly firing there. There we go again. Get on a plane's tail and identify it as a Hurricane. Oh, no, sorry, I didn't. That was one I identified as a 109E. My bad. Got a quick shot as he drifted right through my gun sight. I've got my distance set at about 150 meters, so the plane should be just a little bit smaller than those little rings there when I fire, and I managed to take one out. So that's one 109E down, one more to go. I'm flying after to see what the other guys are doing on this side. There's somebody trailing smoke, makes them easy to chase. I can see that there are 2 planes on the right chasing after a plane in the front. So I think I went ahead and assumed that maybe the plane on the front was going to be the 109. There we go. We can see there's a Hurricane, so I'm going to ignore that plane. Try to rotate around so I can figure out who was he chasing. Maybe he was chasing after that 109. See if I can't steal his kill. Now there's a plane down lower. Climbing up. And that one appears to be a 109, so I'm going to go ahead and fly it. Let him drift through the gun sight, I hope. And that he didn't go down the way I thought. I think I fired just a little bit too late. Got hits probably, but not enough to do much damage. Now here's where he gets confusing because he's flying upside down. Sometimes the AI will do that. A regular pilot, I would assume he's going to be drifting back to the left, but sometimes these AI will go ahead and just fly upside down for a little bit. It makes it harder to predict where they're going to go. So now he's righted himself, and I'm fighting to keep my nose down. I've got a manual trim going on where I'm trying to lower the trim a little bit so I can stay below him. When my nose tends to climb up, if that trim is set too high, it does make it difficult to aim because you have to dip the stick down in order to aim. He's a little bit out of range here. So I'm firing just a little bit too low. Another hit there, you can see. Plane flies across, I have to hesitate. And there we go, finally enough hits on a long burst in order to knock him out of the sky. So for me, that was 2 hits at this first patrol location. Now, since I skipped over it, I'm going to go ahead and mention that when you fly a patrol, you usually fly from waypoint to waypoint. You're not sure which waypoint it is that's going to have the bandits there. So I had flown a series of waypoints, put me very close to Belgium. And in this case, I've just killed a second plane, so it's about time for me to be checking my map again to figure out where the next waypoint is going to be, where the game wants me to go to see who I might or might not intercept. In this case, we've lost a bit of altitude, so it's not likely that I'm going to be staying. I'm not going to be surprising any of these new bandits from a high angle or high advantage. But here we all are moving towards the waypoint. I can kind of see that marked on the map. Climbing a little bit as I do, just trying to make sure that I'm somewhere near that waypoint. And getting even closer to where that waypoint might be, do a quick check of my 6, make sure there's nobody behind me, which I don't seem to do nearly enough. And we're almost here at the point where I'm supposed to be checking into. Now, I hit that one, and the next waypoint is to the south, so I'm reversing the plane here. I love how the clouds reflect into the water. And now we're on the right heading to get to the appropriate waypoint. I'm going to drop the trim a little bit so that I can get my nose even with the horizon, get that pointer right on the horizon. And since the waypoint dot has disappeared, that's usually a sign that there are bandits coming. So there we go. They came straight on at us, and I took a couple of hits. I tried to cut in front of them, do a little bit of a lead turn once I spotted them coming. And I thought, here, I got it. I've got this guy nailed. And I overshot, fired just above him. But it's not that hard to reverse back onto him. Again, at this waypoint, my goal is to hit down 2 109s. I had only seen the one coming, maybe a second one, but I'm trying to follow this guy. Get a little bit longer burst because he's a little bit out of range, so I'm trying to just get a few hits on him. And again, firing behind too much. This is a really difficult angle for me to fire at, kind of descending and upside down. But I'm presenting my lift vector at him in order to try to stay on him. There he is again. You can see the yellow nose. Probably a hit there. And he begins to level out and allowing me to get a hit in order to take him down. So that's one of the 2 109s. Now I have no idea at this point where the other one is, so I've got to rotate around and see if I can't find him somewhere. I was having a bit of a difficult time spotting any bandits. I kind of see where my ally was. Maybe thought my allies might have been with the bandits or being chased by or something. So here I am just sort of doing a little bit of a wide circle, checking in any direction for any dots in the sky, indicating where this second bandit might be. And still no joy on the tally. And there you can see there are 3 planes there. There's a bit of a chase going on, so now I know where I'm headed. Now to complete the second part of the mission, we need to down a second plane. So here I am chasing. And I reverse back. We'll cut my engine there for a second. Reverse back. He's climbing up. I'm trying to stay up above him a little bit. And again, tracking the bandit there. And he's clearly on someone else's tail, so give him a quick shot to get him off. Now here I started salivating since he climbed. I figured he's going to lose his velocity, and I can go ahead and get an easier shot lined up on him. And here I also start to lose mine, and I just haven't got the smash to get him. Maybe a hit in there somewhere, but definitely not enough. I didn't feel like to bring him down. Engine cut out again from the carburetor, flooding. I've still got this guy on the chase. I'm still doing fairly well. Trying to stay above him a little bit. He's climbing, so if I can stay above him a little bit, I don't have to climb with him. And there you can see the ammo is out. Now here's where it gets really rough, because I don't know what it is about these AI, but once they know you're out of ammo, they seem to just sit there like an easy target. And I have to let him go because I've got no other guns there. Somehow he disappears. I don't know if I did enough to hit him and he went down, or what happened, but the marker that I required a second tally in order to get past this point disappeared there. So I was kind of looking to see what else is going on. There's a couple of the planes out there. At least one of them is going to be a 109, but at this point I hit the two bandits are down again, and there we go. You can see another plane flying the direction, so I'm going to let them go. Here the game awarded us the success in this mission, so we got to where we needed to get to, the victory point. Downed our planes, and the game opens up the option asking me would I like to go ahead and continue, and since I wanted to kind of see if I could bring this game home again, I said yes. The goal then was to land at the same airfield that we took off at. Remember, I've got no ammo at this point, so I was pretty grateful that I actually got out of that game with a success. I got 3 tallies, maybe a 4th. It's hard to tell what happened to that last German plane. And now I've got a long way to fly back to get back home again. You can see they're checking on the map to see where the airfield is. You can see the cliffs of Dover just to the right of my targeting reticle. And looking to see who's with me. Not much there, so the trick is just to see if I can't get home as safely as possible. Now there's a mistake I make here, and that is running out of fuel. I had let the fuel get to 0. In fact, I didn't pack enough fuel to begin with. I wasn't anticipating a 30-minute game or even a 20-minute game, and so I'm out of fuel at this point. With no fuel and the ground really far away, there's really no hope that I'll be able to make it back to the airbase. So at this point, I'm just role-playing it, and I thought I could bail out right here, but wouldn't it be cool to see how close I can get to the shore? Because if somebody's got to come rescue me and find me, the odds of me surviving are going to be much, much closer. In fact, I was even thinking at this point, see if I can't minimize the distance I have to swim in order to get back. I tried a few things. I tried putting it on manual engine control and feathering the engine. It turns out that there was no feathering control, so I went ahead and turned my prop pitch down to 0, which reduces the amount of bite you get in the propellers. Doesn't pull you forward as much, but it also reduces resistance and hopefully would allow me to drift as far as possible. So I went for that approach, turning my prop pitch down to the lowest percentage possible, just to sort of see how far I could get. And just thought I would just drift as close as possible, keeping those cliffs just to the right of my view screen there. You can see I've got a wingman there kind of flying along with me. Hopefully going to make it back. But I've lost so much altitude here that there's no way to possibly get back to shore. Not even for a ground landing. It's definitely a water landing. And now there are shots coming at me, and I take a few hits. That is, one of those Germans hadn't been downed, and he was coming to punish us for the damage we did. So you can see, take a few hits. I try to weave a little bit. Thank God I'm going so slow that he overshoots, and of course, if I'd had any guns there, I would have squeezed the trigger and tried to get some hits on him. He's already trailing smoke, but he's chased us home, and I'm pretty much at the point now to where a water landing is inevitable. So the trick is just to try to keep it as parallel as possible, see if I can't land down as smoothly as possible. Hopefully there's not another German plane getting ready to shoot the heck out of me, but I'm still quite a distance away from the shore. So there goes my engine completely. An ideal engine would leave me with my wings flat, smacking into the top of the water. But here we go. I dip my right wing, rip that wing off, and flip over. And the game is done. I enjoyed this one. I look forward to seeing you guys the next time, and enjoy flying.